a pathway forward world?
Historically, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, the options are not that good, bro. Like, okay, like, historically, what has happened? Like what they said, like, Armenian genocide, the Ottomans lost, so they collapsed. Same in World War II, that's what stopped the Holocaust. It's like generally, in Rwanda genocide too, it's like, the RPF, Paul Kagame, were, Rwanda Patriotic Front, that's what stopped the Rwandan genocide. Some people even say double genocide, but whatever, I don't want to get into Paul Kagame. But, typically it's either people stop cooperating with the genocide, people flee the genocide, so that they have no more targets, or most usually, a greater army comes in and, like, you know, this takes control. But the problem with Sudan is just like, bro, like, you need infantry to hold the place. You know, you need an entire army to make that place safe for people to live there again. And what has been happening, bro, like, when I say this is a story as old as time, and, like, Sudan is just the line where the anti-blackness and the Arabs that were trying to ethnically cleanse like, that's just where that line stops. But, like, bro, this has been happening to Africans for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. Especially when, like, the country's still getting money, the country's still, like, trading, like, people are wanting to trade with them, the Dubai, the Emirates, they're still trying to get resources out of there, so it's like, they're not gonna, like, choke like South Africa and stop doing what they're doing. Like, the RSF and the Sudanese government aren't just gonna stop fighting. They're not gonna find, like, people, they're not gonna find people that just don't want to cooperate with how terrible the mission is. Like, bro, it's anti-blackness. It's like, the shit, everybody's on the same, like, game plan. Literally, if one side wins, they're gonna continue the anti-black ethnic cleansing. If the other side wins, they will continue the anti-black ethnic cleansing. I don't know. Unless somebody else invades, or, yeah, that's probably the clearest. What do you think?
I don't know enough.
Oh, I was going to say, what do you think historically has ended genocide?
What has ended genocides?
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons. I'm just kidding.
Military force.
Or I think in the past, the way they ended is that the people got all killed. But now in the present, it's more like, you know, states like collapse, or those war. Like, if we look at, you know, like, ancient things like Tamerlane or Genghis Khan, they just killed all the people. But if you look at, like, modern day stuff, like the Holocaust, NFL, what ended this? I actually don't know what ended what's the Rwandan genocide? It's like, actually, I have no idea what caused that stuff. You don't know?
Yeah, Paul Kagame and Rwanda invaded Rwanda. They were Paul Kagame and the Rwanda Patriotic Front was exiled outside Rwanda. They invade, and then they take over Rwanda. That's what it's supposed to. They were waiting for help from the international community, and they just were like, "Fuck it, nobody's gonna help us." So, like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even like calling Paul Kagame a good guy, but in that case, he was a good guy with a gun.
Wait, you would say that like ended? Wasn't that more like a triggered, prepared event?
How do you mean?
Like, I thought they like were preparing and then like set off with the radio instructions, triggering it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's organization. There was
So I'm saying I don't know that. How are you saying that he ended it? I thought they just sort of like sprung it and succeeded, mostly.
Yeah, I'm saying that it was ongoing for like 100 days. Like it wasn't stopping. Like the Rwanda genocide, when it started, it wasn't like they're like, hey, please help us. They set up some refugee camps, but like like the UN, some other people did, but like they didn't. Nobody was really stopping the genocide until Paul Kagame marched an army into Rwanda, marched into Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, and over, stop the genocide.
I asked ChatGPT what stops most genocides, and they claim it's like Sam said, military defeat, perpetrators' goals are reached. In some cases, the mass killing stopped because the group has been largely destroyed, displaced, or is assimilated under duress. Internal political changes, shifts in leadership, the death of the key perpetrator, and external intervention rarely is the primary cause. While direct humanitarian military intervention specifically to stop mass murder is uncommon, the threat or use of force can be a factor. For instance, NATO's intervention in Kosovo and the UN peacekeeping mission in East Timor helped stop specific instances of mass killings, but these are the exceptions rather than the norm. In general, they do not stop on their own due to internal, moral, or ethical shifts that require substantial external and internal pressure, and often military force or political upheaval. I don't know if that's helpful. Bleak.
Yeah, what do you get from that? What do you think is
I got from that is like most genocides are successful, and like they sufficiently destroy a people or there needs to be like leadership changes. I think the Armenian genocide ended when World War I ended, so there's geopolitical huge, events that could maybe change the situation on the ground.
The Rwandan genocide, at least, backfired, presumably, right? The perpetrators were identified as genocidal and removed from power, and they failed to exterminate.
Yeah, that's not what happened. Like, wait, who removed them from power?
I saw it. Didn't they stop them when what's his face invaded, or wasn't it a switch?
I'm saying Paul Kagame, the current president
Yeah.
of Rwanda, invaded in 1994. That's what stopped it. Military invasion.
And then didn't that push the genociders out of power, or did it keep them in power?
Yeah. They pushed them out of power. Yep.
So wouldn't that be that the genociders failed? Meaning it provoked a reaction that caused them to lose the power they previously had?
Yeah, in a sense, but like they also did kill like nearly, I don't know, they killed an incredible sum of people, a terrible sum. So it's like,
sure,
you look at genocide.
You could consider them accomplished murderers, but could you consider them having succeeded in their dream board goals? If they dreamed of things beyond the murders, like a healthy society where they were free of those pesky living people, would you say they succeeded on that front?
Yeah, to a large degree.
Okay, so how'd they improve their lives?
And how did that improve their lives?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of genocide, bro. I think people like World War II Germany, Khmer Rouge, Cambodia, they feel like burning through people. It gets the people going. Like they feel like people are like the fuel to start a society. And like in some cases, like the Iran-Iraq war, that war helped solidify Iran. Like sometimes a war can't help, but maybe you have to. And maybe somebody else brought this up that politicians think the lives are expendable. So if that's your calculus, you might see, okay, well, if we get rid of this people, we'll improve our situation. And also, if the politicians don't buy it, the people do. The people do buy it as a buy. All of our problems come from these people. So, I don't think it's all any problems. Really.
Yeah, I don't think that it solves the genociders' problems. I think more often it removes them from power. It unites too many enemies against them.
Yeah, sometimes. But the Namibian genocide, nobody stopped the Namibian genocide. Nobody stopped King Leopold's possession of the Congo. He would have died, entire cultures.
And
the reason that happened at all was because of what I would think was the first public media relations crisis. I don't know what's the better word for that. There's like it caused a public scandal that it was like, oh my gosh, what was going on over here? It was like that, and that had it like in 1907 or whatever. That it didn't really happen that often. So I do think there can be like I think the fact that oh, there's something bad going on in Sudan, that's helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like okay, that's like people being aware of the problem is a great start. I don't think these genocide conventions are better off not existing. I think it's better they do exist. It's just there's very little to be done except for military intervention.
They don't seem to have any teeth.
Yeah, they're not gonna put an army down really, which is kind of a catch twenty.
They also don't really prosecute many people.
They fought in the Congo. The UN actually did an offensive effort.
Yeah, but they were just like okay, when the UN was in the Congo, they didn't have artillery. You know, they have limited air supports, like because they're not trying to take over the country, bro. So it's like a lot of like warlords see the UN and they're like, oh fuck it, we can fight the UN. You heard about those Irish dudes that there's like an Irish UN battalion that like they had a crazy ass not like last stand, but they fought up a bunch of like a warlord like Nazis.
I'm still caught on genocide conventions. So in the same way that there are like sneaker conventions, there are genocide conventions. Is that what I'm talking?
Like the laws that were put in place after World War II to prevent genocide.
Oh, like the Geneva Convention. Okay.
So that statute T gives different buckets for why different genocides ended. So it's got bucket 1, the extermination basically completed. It's got a large number of those. Then it's got the perpetrators were militarily defeated by external force. It's got some of those. It's got genocidal phase of conquest ends once rule is consolidated. So it doesn't finish by the collapse, but the power is consolidated to stop doing the genocide. And they give a few examples of that, much less. And then they have campaign shuts down or dialed back by perpetrators' own central authority. We have a small number of those. And bucket 5 is peak genocidal weapons that persecution continues at a lower level. And then they have 2 of those. It seems like the number 2 ways it usually goes down is either they kill them all or they get stopped by some other military. There's other things that can happen, but those are the 2 main ones.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to or they're out of targets. One in Latin America, people ran from mountains to not on targets. Like that can happen, or like we said, they just run out of steam. They accomplish enough of their goal, or they get stopped. Like another military stops them. It's like I would love if there was an answer for like, okay, the people of Sudan need to exist, but like, bro, I really feel like. South Sudan fucking exists. Like, dog, like the people of Sudan have done it. Like, South Sudan literally just brought down. I feel like that's what happened. And like, anti-blackness has been pushing black people further and further south as the Arabs have made, like, I don't know, wars like this.
Right. And I mean, like, primarily, all of the genocides of the past are, like, they were perpetuated because we hadn't come up with the classification of genocide, the danger it has, the failure it is for society, and we're barely even identifying it now, right? And we still don't have the clearest distinctions between that and political unrest, revolutionary action, terrorism, warfare. We're confused about the whole thing. Genocide's new.
When you say genocide's new, like
The label.
I think.
The label is new. Which is why it's not exactly relevant why we failed to prevent them. We weren't identifying them yet. But it is interesting what kind of course they naturally go through, how the common ends are success in killing, and then, like, papering it over, getting past it historically, or the other, inciting the ire of neighbors that then destroys yourself. It's like you could flip a coin. You get what you want, or you lose everything.
I think what's also kind of new is like it used to be that when you wanted to kill large groups of people, you would just destroy a city. But so the Genghis Khan sacks Mer, or they sack Baghdad or Nishapur. god, that would have been a fucking logistical nightmare.
That's a fair point. And like, I think this pissed off Americans a lot. They were trying to fight the Indians and really genocide the Indians, but because the Indians didn't have cities, and like the Mongols, when people try to fight the Mongols or the Vikings, like how do you fight the Mongols or the Vikings?
The Indians had cities, really impressive cities, but they died from the disease.
You said Muslims?
Yeah.
Oh,
The Indians, the natives, they had massive civilization, really very well developed. A lot of the farming techniques were way more advanced than what the Europeans knew how to do. But they died from the disease. It wasn't like exactly superiority or really like cheating each other. It was a genetic lie that worked out in favor of the fucking plague surviving Europeans.
So I'm talking like
One of them had guns also.
yeah, guns,
One side.
like I mean,
That
worked
worked
the other
both
side
sides. The natives got the guns quick.
they have shittier guns though. They're like around 1800s, like 30 years of gun technology makes a difference. I'm thinking like Custer's last stand.
Yeah, guns were kind of bullshit back then. They were pretty good, but the natives picked them up too. In terms of war, like they were formidable, but primarily it was disease. It was the weird post-plague resilience of the Europeans, together with like
But the
sailors.
Trail of
And
Tears, didn't that kill like 1 million?
that's like later. That's what I'm saying. So many died before you get to the point where the Europeans already colonized and declared America and kicked off the king. There's history to.
These are all stages of a genocide.
Trail of Tears, I don't think killed that many people.
I thought a lot.
It says 13,000, 3,000. But if you compare that to the millions that
13,000 too many.
Wait, yeah, this is. But if you compare that to the millions that died from disease, it's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to the overall thing that happened is that diseases fucking wiped them out.
Including diabetes, which they're still dealing with.
Didn't they intentionally give them smallpox blankets?
There's only one example of that happening. I think it's like Fort Hood or something like that.
It was mostly by accident.
It wasn't like a policy. There's only one example.
And where did they catch it? How do we know? How do we study?
Because they were meeting with each other. They traded.
And they all had smallpox?
No.
A lot of the stuff would spread on the goods that they would give. Like they would trade items with each other, and then the goods would have the disease on them.
Who's the story in this room?
Yeah, I understand disease killed a lot of native First Nations people, but just like even still, things like Custer's Last Stand, Tears, Andrew Jackson exist. Like there's still extermination attempts when they found gold on Native American land, or at least ethnic cleansing attempts. This is probably part.
Custer's Last Stand is when the Indians killed Custer.
Yeah. But like Custer was trying to track down the
fight.
Indians. He was trying to track down the Indians to get a stand-up fight with them, and then he got ambushed.
And Indian is like Native Americans, you mean? Because I'm from Bangladesh and I'm just wondering, what are you talking about?
Native Americans, yeah.
Yes. In the literature of this era, they are referred to as Indians.
Or First
The way
Nations.
language works, languages have homophones. Like when you say like I'm gonna go back in time, and I have a back, like a human back, with like different concepts that are the same word. Yeah.
And if it's any consolation, calling them Indians is a nod to the impressive stupidity of the Europeans calling anyone an Indian.
Wasn't it the idea that
I know it's impressive. They still discovered that. We got to clap.
they discovered a place where it was not India. They wanted to find the route to India, right?
I think we can all agree what they found was way better.
They're trying to end. I think.
Whoa, that's so ignorant.
I think we should stop. Also, a lot of Native Americans do. Like, that's the phrase that they
So
say.
ignorant. I'm leaving this chat. Sorry.
That guy's profile was the most woke thing I've ever seen ever.
Oh no. Am I going to be canceled?
So let's take a quick look at this. Black Lives Matter, trans visibility, pro-choice, intersectional, youth voices count, and violence against women. It's just like there's many more. It's just got all the buckets. My guy loves his wokeness.
Wait, that guy who was just here.
Yeah, the one that was like, oh, how come you're calling them Indians if they're not some Indian?
Right. He was trying to virtue signal. Didn't find any one receptive to his signals.
I mean, he's not wrong, but yeah.
He's not wrong, but it's also pointless. It doesn't add to the conversation. No one's espousing a great sensitivity to
El
the
Normo.
insensitivity of that issue.
I've
It's
lured
just
you in,
irrelevant.
El Normo, to my Mikhail web of despair.
I took notice, McZed, that earlier you were
I
saying
tricked you,
that
El
it's
Normo. I
like-
found you.
That's a good idea.
I
Because
got
it's
you, El
accurate,
Normo. I
like,
got
no matter
you.
Yeah, no, it's
Cooking
correct,
away, get your
but
dopamine.
like, you know, you have to make space for people to express.
Huh?
Is it coming up?
The good part?
Good part or-
Confusing to me. I understand
Yeah.
the literature then said it, but it is confusing.
If you think
Now we're just
Buttercup's
kind
the
of
good
thinking
part,
about
then yeah.
people from India.
This is live.
What, is this a room right
We
now?
do need a
This
better
is
name
Sam
than India.
Rosen's room.
We do have a better name than Indians. I'm
I
certainly
know you
saying
got
that
some beef
from
with
that
Sam. You
era,
put
they
your
are
picture up the other night. You called him a little disgusting
Mistakenly.
punk, and that's exactly what he is.
It doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it makes me want to
Yeah, I don't even think it was a mistake though. I think that's just very intentional to alienate the people from a
Yeah.
This
I
has
thought they
been a
thought
good
they-
one.
I thought they
Simple othering.
believed. I thought they believed they arrived in India at first, and that's why they called them Indians.
That's what they said. Oh,
I mean, when at some
That's
point
what I
they
read.
were aware that they weren't in India and continued using the moniker Indians, which is a dismissal of the relevant distinctions. They didn't care. They were fine with calling them Indians.
right. It's like we're not in India, but those are Indians. Okay, like you know.
They look kind of similarly shaded.
And let's also say, I'm not 100% sure India was the name of India at the time. Wasn't it like Indus or Hodu?